Which of the following is not true about the Formosan black bear? A. It is Taiwan's only bear species. B. They are primarily herbivores. Or C. They hibernate during the winter. Only one of those statements is incorrect. Stay tuned to Formosa Fauna to find out which. Spend the next 20 minutes feeding your brain with Formosa Fauna so you can learn all about the animal kingdom and become smarter than all of your friends. Every Friday is Formosa Fauna Friday. Hello, I'm Tristan Hildebrand, the voice of Formosa Fauna. I love animals, I love talking about them, and I have a cold today. I'm sorry. That's why I sound very nasally. If you're even remotely curious about the animal kingdom, though, you're in the right place. In today's episode, we're going to talk about, well, the rise and fall of ivory use, which many of you have touched before, the pangolin conservation in Taiwan, and the mystery behind the Formosan black bear's diet and habits. Just recently in Taiwan, there has been a newly recognized endemic Taiwanese music frog species known as, this one's tough, Nidirana shyhhuangi. It was previously classified with its counterpart of a similar name known as the Kempira Falls frog, but has recently been identified as a distinct and endemic Taiwanese species following collaborative research between National Taiwan Normal University, NTNU, and the Ministry of Agriculture. The Taiwan Biodiversity Research Institute states that the adult population is estimated to be only 300 to 700 individuals nationwide, making it a critically endangered species. A representative from NTNU's Department of Life Science explained that the unique characteristics of the frog were first noticed in the 1980s by a professor by the name of Chen Shihuang, who observed that it was smaller than the Kempira Falls frog, but without advanced identification tools, as they weren't available at the time, researchers couldn't definitively classify it as a separate species. Recent detailed examinations revealed significant differences between the two frogs in terms of physical features, patterns, and vocalizations. As is the case with vocalizations, the Taiwanese species produces faster, higher-pitched calls compared to its larger Kempira Falls counterpart. The research team began focusing on conservation efforts for this specific music frog around 2019, but first needed to clarify its genetic classification to ensure appropriate protection strategies. Their findings were officially published in the international journal called Zookeys on February 27th this year. The species subsequently was added to the American Museum of Natural History's Amphibian Species of the World database, becoming the 8,862nd formally named amphibian species in the world. Check out our story on the topic on Radio Taiwan International's English website to find out more. Taiwan is home to one of the world's most elusive and endangered creatures, the Formosan pangolin. This nocturnal, solitary mammal is known for its distinctive armor of scales made of keratin, which unfortunately has also made it a target for illegal wildlife trade. The Formosan pangolin is a critically endangered species, and efforts to protect it are increasingly urgent. In recent years, Taiwan has ramped up its conservation initiatives to protect the pangolin, especially following the increasing threat of poaching. These pangolins are often targeted for their scales, which are used in traditional medicine, and for their meat, which is considered a delicacy in some cultures. The government has responded by intensifying anti-poaching efforts and increasing fines for illegal hunting and trade. The Taiwan Forestry Bureau is working alongside wildlife conservation organizations to enhance pangolin habitats, focusing on forested areas in the island's mountainous regions, which are the pangolin's primary homes. Conservationists are also monitoring the populations through cameras and genetic studies to better understand their behaviors, movements, and population trends. This data is essential for developing effective strategies to protect the species. One of the major challenges in pangolin conservation is reducing human-wildlife contact, especially in areas where forests are being cleared for agriculture or development. The Forestry Bureau has been promoting eco-friendly farming practices and creating wildlife corridors to ensure pangolins have had safe paths to move between different habitats. Despite the grave threats to their survival, there is hope. With continued conservation efforts, awareness campaigns, and stricter regulations on wildlife trafficking, the Formosan pangolin stands a chance at recovery. The efforts being made today will help ensure that Taiwan's pangolin population can thrive in the world for generations to come. Ivory, once regarded as a luxury material, has a long and complicated history. Derived primarily from the tusks of elephants, ivory has been prized for its smooth texture, beauty, and durability for thousands of years. Ancient civilizations across Africa, Asia, and Europe used ivory for a variety of purposes, from intricate carvings to jewelry and even religious artifacts. By the 18th and 19th centuries, ivory became a symbol of wealth and status, and its use expanded into items like chess pieces, combs, knife handles, and notably, piano keys. The rise of ivory's popularity in the 19th century coincided with the Industrial Revolution, when mass production allowed the material to be incorporated into a wide range of everyday objects. Pianos were one of the most notable products that used ivory. Many piano keys were made from the material due to its unique ability to withstand repeated pressure without cracking. Ivory was also used in billiard balls, buttons, and fine art sculptures, making it a staple in both practical and decorative items. However, as demand for ivory surged, so too did the hunting of elephants for their tusks. This led to devastating consequences for elephant populations. By the 20th century, the unchecked ivory trade contributed to the decline of wild elephant populations, especially in Africa, where poaching reached alarming levels. Ivory's role in the global economy was increasingly scrutinized, and concerns about the ethical and environmental impact of ivory collection grew. In the 1970s and 1980s, the international community began to take action to address the issue. The Convention on International Trade in Endangered Species, CITES, was established in 1973 to regulate and, in some cases, ban the international trade of endangered species and their products. This led to the eventual implementation of a worldwide ban on the ivory trade in 1989, marking a pivotal moment in conservation history. Despite the ban, the demand for ivory has not completely disappeared. Illegal poaching continues to be a significant problem, fueled by demand in some countries, where ivory is still sought after for traditional medicine, as a status symbol, or for collectors. In recent years, the rise of online marketplaces has made it easier for poachers to traffic ivory illegally, though many countries, including the US and China, have cracked down on domestic ivory sales to curb the trade. The ethical considerations surrounding ivory have become clear. The destruction of elephant populations for the sake of luxury items is largely regarded as unacceptable in today's world. Elephants, now protected by global conservation efforts, have seen some recovery in certain regions, but illegal poaching still threatens their survival. Today, the trade of ivory is widely outlawed, with many countries imposing severe penalties for those caught buying, selling, or possessing ivory products. Governments, conservation organizations, and the public continue to work together to raise awareness about the devastating impacts of ivory trade, with the hope of ending the demand for it entirely. The fall of ivory's widespread use represents a shift towards a future where the preservation of wildlife takes precedence over the luxury of once prized materials. Let's talk about Carl Linnaeus. Carl Linnaeus was a Swedish-born botanist, physician, and zoologist who is most famous for developing the system of binomial nomenclature, the method we still use today to scientifically name and classify living organisms, which gives every organism a two-part Latin name. The first part is the genus name, which is capitalized, and the second part is the species name, which is all in lowercase. For example, the scientific name for humans is Homo sapiens. This system made it easier to identify and categorize species consistently across different regions and languages. Linnaeus also developed the taxonomic ranks we still use today: kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, and species. This hierarchical classification system organizes life into broad categories and narrows down to specific species. For example, humans belong to the kingdom Animalia, the phylum Chordata, the class Mammalia, the order Primates, the family Hominidae, the genus Homo, and the species Sapiens. Linnaeus' groundbreaking contributions forever changed biology and laid the foundation for modern ecological and evolutionary studies. So, the next time someone mentions how hard it is to pronounce the Latin names of animals or talks about the taxonomic rank, you know who is behind it. At the beginning of today's episode, I asked the question, which of the following is not true about Formosan black bears? A. They are Taiwan's only bear species. B. They are primarily herbivores. Or C. They hibernate during the winter. Which one did you guess? The answer to that question is C. C is incorrect. Formosan black bears do not hibernate. Unlike bears in other parts of the world, they remain active throughout the whole year, adapting to the island's mild winters. Did you guess correctly? Taiwan is an island that is 70% covered by mountains, lakes, and jungle. Taiwan's early connections to the Pacific and Southeast Asia are well established and are the basis for seeing Taiwan as an ocean nation. Did you know that over 17,000 species thrive in the deep sea where no light penetrates the ocean waves? Or that there are 38,000 different kinds of microbes in just 1 liter of seawater? These were all discoveries made by the Census of Marine Life, a 10-year international effort that assessed the diversity, distribution, and abundance of marine life. Today, you're going to learn about blue sea dragons, scientifically known as Glaucus atlanticus. They are fascinating and vibrant marine creatures. They are a type of nudibranch, which is a group of soft-bodied marine gastropod mollusks. These creatures are often called sea slugs or sea butterflies due to their appearance and behavior. As for their appearance, blue sea dragons are small, typically ranging from about 3 to 4 centimeters or 1 to 1.5 inches long, but they can grow a little longer in some cases. Their striking blue color comes from a combination of iridescent shades of blue and silver, giving them a beautiful, almost ethereal appearance. This coloration helps them blend in with the ocean surface, making them harder for predators to spot. The creature's body is elongated with distinct finger-like projections called serrata that protrude from their backs, resembling the wings of a dragon, hence the name sea dragon. The foot of the blue sea dragon is muscular and is used for movement, while the serrata are used for breathing and absorbing oxygen. These creatures are found in temperate and tropical ocean waters around the world, typically in the open ocean, although they are often seen drifting in surface waters and sometimes washed ashore. They tend to inhabit regions like the eastern Atlantic Ocean, the Indo-Pacific, and the Mediterranean Sea. They prefer warmer waters, which is why they are often seen in areas like around Australia, South Africa, and the Mediterranean. Blue sea dragons are carnivorous and feed on other marine creatures, including jellyfish, other small cnidarians, and sometimes even the venomous Portuguese man-o-war, which we actually talked about in a previous episode. They have the ability to consume their prey whole, including the venomous tentacles of jellyfish. Remarkably, they can store the toxins from their prey in their own bodies and use it for defense, making them potentially dangerous to other animals and occasionally humans that might try to handle them. This ability to store venom makes them a formidable predator for their size, and they use this venom as a defense mechanism against oftentimes larger predators. The blue sea dragon's bright blue coloration serves a purpose as it warns predators that they might be dangerous due to the toxins they carry from their prey. The blue sea dragon is capable of releasing small amounts of toxins if threatened, which can cause mild irritation to human skin. Blue sea dragons are hermaphrodites, meaning they have both male and female reproductive organs. This allows them to mate with any other individual of their species that they may encounter. After mating, blue sea dragons lay egg ribbons that are spiral-shaped and made of numerous tiny eggs. These egg ribbons are usually laid on the surface of rocks or floating objects in the water. To move around, they usually drift on the surface of the water, often using the ocean currents to travel. But they can also use their foot to crawl along surfaces or float. As they have limited mobility by themselves, blue sea dragons often rely on the ocean's movements to carry them across different areas. Blue sea dragons play a rather significant role in the ecosystem as predators of jellyfish and other small marine creatures because they help regulate populations of those organisms, especially in areas where jellyfish blooms can occur. Despite their small size, they are part of the larger food web, providing a food source for animals like fish, seabirds, and other larger marine creatures. These blue sea dragons, like other nudibranchs, have a rhinosphere, which is a sensory organ that looks like a small antenna on their heads. The rhinospheres help them detect chemicals in the water, aiding in finding food and navigating their environment. In Taiwan's mountainous regions, the Formosan black bear, an endangered species native to the island, has been exhibiting unusual behavior that has caught the attention of wildlife researchers. Traditionally, these bears have been known to subsist on a diet of fruits, nuts, and small animals. However, in recent months, researchers have observed a surprising shift in their diet. Reports indicate that more Formosan black bears are now foraging for human crops, particularly in rural areas where farmers grow rice and vegetables. This change in behavior may be due to a reduction in natural food sources, such as acorns and wild berries, caused by fluctuating weather patterns and climate change. Researchers are particularly concerned about the growing conflicts between these bears and local farmers who view the bears as a threat to their livelihoods. The Taiwan Forestry Bureau has proposed initiatives to mitigate human-bear conflicts by creating wildlife corridors and planting more of the bear's native food sources and protected areas. Conservationists are working hard to understand the impact of this diet shift and to develop strategies that will ensure the long-term survival of the Formosan black bear. I've had a sick kitty at home with me for I think over 2 weeks or almost 3 weeks now at this point. It is surprising how slowly some of these changes take effect when you're caring for and nursing a sick kitty back to health. You'd think that it would be almost instantly, but at this point she's been cared for by a vet for over a month and then by me for half a month, and there are only like very minimal visible changes, but it's the little things, and I think it's every day seeing that there has been some progress that keeps me optimistic about her health and her recovery. When I shared the story of rescuing this cat with a colleague here at RTI, they asked me, do you think she knows that you're the one who saved her? Like that you're her hero? And I said, I don't think cats' minds work that way. It would be nice if they did, but I don't think they work that way. And I think I was almost proven wrong, because for a feral cat who has never lived with humans before and only spent time at the scary vet, right? She warmed up to me so quickly. It's like she genuinely knew that I'm the one who got her off the streets and got her into a place that would care for her. It's almost like she is so smart that she is constantly thinking like a human does and not just acting on instinct. Anyway, if you have ever sent good vibes or prayers my way for a strong kitty, thank you so much. She is getting better every single day, and I'm just so grateful, because there was a period of time there that I genuinely did not think that she would. If you yourself have any animal-centric news stories or experiences or photos that you'd like to share with me or share with other listeners of the show, please send those to me. My email is tristan@rti.org.tw. That is TRISTAN @rti.org.tw. Making it to the end of an episode makes you a Formosa Fauna friend. It's not gross, it's cute. Thank you for tuning in, friend, and thank you for putting up with my sick, cold voice. All animals require enrichment, and Formosa Fauna is just that. After all, we're all just a bunch of wild animals. See you next time for Formosa Fauna Fridays here on Radio Taiwan International.